Good morning. I'm Lindsay Thieveridge, the Certified Local Government Coordinator at the Historic Preservation Office. Thank you for attending this webinar, which will provide you with an overview of the Certified Local Government Grant Program and an introduction to the new grant management system known as SAGE, or System for Administering Grants Electronically. All future Certified Local Government grants will be administered through the SAGE system. I'm joined by my colleague, David Renitsky, who will provide you with instructions for filling out the online application using the SAGE system. Please note this webinar will be recorded and made available on our website. The Historic Preservation Office, established by the National Historic Preservation Act, receives part of our annual funding through the Historic Preservation Fund, administered by the National Park Service. The Historic Preservation Fund provides crucial support to a variety of preservation activities throughout the state. The Historic Preservation Office is required to re-grant 10% of the federal funding for pass-through as sub-grants to certified local governments. The total amount of available funding varies each year with the federal allocation. These funds are awarded on a competitive basis, and applications are evaluated and ranked according to the established criteria available in the grant application. Who is eligible? To qualify for a certified local government grant, a municipality must meet 3 criteria. 1, they must have applied for and received certified local government status from the National Park Service. Only municipal governments that have been certified by the grant application deadline are eligible to compete for funds. 2, the participating municipality must be current in their submission of annual reports. This means that the annual report for the preceding calendar year has been submitted in accordance with Appendix C of the New Jersey Certified Local Government Guidelines. This requirement does not apply to communities that attain certification within the past calendar year. 3, the municipality must also agree to comply with all applicable state and federal regulations. 2 or more certified local government communities may collaboratively propose a project that benefits multiple certified local government communities. This enables the participating communities to leverage limited financial and staff resources. Examples include architectural survey or the development of a National Register nomination that spans multiple municipalities. One certified local government must be designated as the lead agency for the purposes of the grant, and only one application may be submitted per municipality. Certified local governments can apply on behalf of nonprofit organizations. However, the municipality must accept administrative responsibility for the grant. Funding. The amount of available grant funds depends on the allocation from the Historic Preservation Fund, the number and quality of requests, and how well the projects rank when judged on the evaluation criteria. The anticipated amount of funding for federal fiscal year 2023 is estimated to be between $90,000 and $120,000. The minimum grant award will be $15,000 and the maximum will be $50,000. The CLG grants are reimbursable grants. The grant recipient pays for all costs upfront, and grant funds are reimbursed up to the grant amount. This means the municipality may have to carry the cost of the grant for a brief period between the time it pays the grant project bills and the time that it is reimbursed by the state. Project timeframes. The certified local government grants run for a 2-year grant period that coincides with the federal fiscal year, which runs October 1st to September 30th. An estimated timeline is provided on this slide. Project work may only begin after the grant is awarded and a grant agreement between the grant recipient and the state has been signed and fully executed. All projects are expected to be started and underway within 30 days of the execution of the grant agreement. You should plan on a project being achievable within a 6-month work period. Project standards. Grantees selected for funding are required to enter into a grant agreement with the Department of Environmental Protection and comply with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, rules, regulations, and policies. All certified local government grants must result in a completed, tangible product or measurable result and must be carried out in accordance with the applicable Secretary of the Interior standards for archaeology and historic preservation. A copy of these standards is available at the web address on the screen. Examples of eligible projects. The certified local government grants can be used for a variety of planning activities. The list of suggestions for allowable grant-funded projects on the screen covers the areas of survey, registration, planning, and education. This is not a complete list of fundable projects, but provides you with the range of activities that can be funded. If your community has an idea that is not mentioned here, please call me to discuss whether the proposed project can be funded with certified local government grant funds. Ineligible activities. Grant funds may not be used for the activities listed on the slide. You may hire a consultant to prepare the grant application for you. However, grant funding cannot be used to reimburse the consultant for preparation of the application, nor can the municipality promise to hire that consultant to work on the project if the grant is awarded. Developing your scope of work. A well-written scope of work is critical for a successful grant application. Sample scopes of work for commonly funded project types are included in the SAGE system and can be provided by our office. Scopes of work should include detailed plans and ensure that the proposed approach to performing tasks are realistic, attainable, appropriate, and will result in a reimbursable product. Your application should clearly state the primary steps you will take to complete the project, including key timetables and a work schedule. Evaluators are looking to see that you have a clear understanding of what is required to successfully complete the project and that qualified professionals will be used to complete the work. Consider the following questions when developing your scope of work. What local historic preservation needs does the proposed project address? Why is the proposed project a priority? How does the proposed project remedy the identified preservation needs? What activities will be necessary to complete the proposed project? Who will be responsible for doing what? What products will be derived from the project? Will the products be in draft or final adopted form by the end of the project? How will the products be used by the local government? How will the proposed project benefit the community? How will the public be involved in the project? How will any products produced be made available to the public? Developing your project budget. Provide a simple line item budget based on the most accurate cost available to date. Line items are individual expenses designated for a specific purchase or service. Itemize the estimated total cost of the work by major work items. The budget should include all expenditures for the proposed project. Budget amounts must be realistic and based upon fair and open competition among suppliers of professional services, materials, or equipment. It's very important that you ask for enough funding to cover project cost. It's also important to ensure the total requested grant amount will cover the project activities. Provide as much detail as possible in your budget explanation. Who is doing what? How much time will be devoted to each task? How does this translate into cost, salaries, fringe, etc.? What are the hourly rates? What equipment or supplies are needed? We strongly recommend that applicants obtain proposals from several qualified consultants with demonstrated experience with your project type. Proposals should include estimates of major cost items to use as a basis for preparing proposed budgets, and proposals should be included as attachments to the application. Obtaining consultant proposals will give you an idea of whether the proposed budget will be adequate to complete the project or what you can realistically expect to accomplish within your budget. Keep in mind that larger firms typically have higher overhead costs than small firms or individual consultants. On the other hand, large firms may have a wider range of skills and expertise to draw upon. Applications that include copies of estimates and consultant proposals consistently score higher among grant evaluators. A list of allowable and non-allowable costs is available in the SAGE system and can be obtained by request from the Historic Preservation Office. I will now turn the presentation over to my colleague David, who will give you an overview of how to use the SAGE system.
Good morning. My name is David Renitsky. I'm an administrative analyst at the Historic Preservation Office, and I'm going to introduce you to NJDEP's SAGE system. First, I will take you through a PowerPoint presentation on navigating SAGE. Then at the end, I will log into the system to show you everything that was covered in the PowerPoint. You'll be using the system to apply for and administer your certified local government grants moving forward. Please note that the SAGE has many systems for many different departments throughout the state, and your CLG grant applications will be using NJDEP's SAGE system. For your information, SAGE stands for System for Administering Grants Electronically. The elements of this application are the same as the traditional paper applications for this program. However, they are just now formatted digitally into SAGE. The link to NJDEP's SAGE is provided at the end of this webinar, as well as on HPO's website. There are many available resources to help you get started in NJDEP SAGE, one being this webinar, which will be recorded and accessible after today's meeting. There's also a new user's quick reference guide posted on our website, which gives detailed information on creating an organization profile and navigating the system. Lastly, within SAGE, there are some learning materials accessible through the main page on the My Training Materials tab. This includes another webinar, which was run by the developers, as well as an instruction manual for grantees. I will show you where to access the developer webinar and manual later in the presentation. In order to access and use NJDEP's SAGE system, you will need to have an organization profile. It is very possible that your municipality already has an organization profile in the system, so please check with your municipal administrators to confirm whether or not you have an organization profile in NJDEP SAGE. If your municipality does not have an organization profile, you will need to create one via the link on the login page. Please note that it could take up to 72 hours to receive confirmation of account creation and login credentials. The quick reference guide provided on our website will give you more detailed information on the account creation process. When registering your organization for the first time, you will be prompted to enter information for your municipality, as well as create a username and password. When selecting the program of interest, please choose Historic Preservation Certified Local Government, CLG. After creating your organization's profile, you will need to add member profiles for all persons involved in the grant process. This can be done by accessing the My Organizations tab at the top of the homepage. After clicking the My Organizations tab, find your organization from the list. On the organization page, click on Organization Members, then click Add Member, and click New Member. When creating new members within your organization, there are two different types of roles that can be assigned. One is authorized official and the other is viewer. Authorized official roles can fill out, submit applications, apply status changes, and manage grants within Sage. Viewer roles are able to look up the application and grant information and status within Sage. It is up to your organization which roles will be assigned to each member. Once you have confirmed and received your organization login information and created the appropriate member profiles, you will now be able to log into NJDEP Sage to search, apply for, and manage your certified local government grants. As mentioned earlier, there are additional training materials available which can be accessed through the homepage. Just click on the My Training Materials tab, and then the drop-down menu will appear where you can select a developer's webinar and IntelliGrants manual. In order to initiate your application, you must search for the grant opportunity in the My Opportunities page. You can access the My Opportunities page through the homepage. At the top of the homepage, click the button that says View Opportunities. This will take you to the My Opportunities page. From there, you can apply filters to find your specific grant opportunity. For this grant, you would select New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection as the provider and Historic Preservation Certified Local Government CLG 2024 FY 2023. In this case, you can leave due date blank. The correct grant should still appear. Click the filter button and search for and confirm the correct grant opportunity that you are looking for. This opportunity will be titled Historic Preservation Certified Local Government CLG 2024 FY 2023 for New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Once you have identified the correct grant opportunity, please read through the information below it. At the bottom of the grant opportunity, you will see two buttons. One says Apply Now, and the other says Not Interested. By clicking the Apply Now button, you are effectively initiating and opening a new grant application for this grant. I will show you where to find and open your application shortly. Please note that by hitting the Not Interested button, you will hide the grant opportunity from being seen in future grant searches. After clicking Apply Now, you will be brought to the Application Snapshot page for your initiated grant application. Please make note of the application name listed next to document information. This application name and number will be used to reference your application when searching through the My Applications tab. Once you have initiated your application, you can navigate to the Application Snapshot through the My Applications tab in the home page. Click on the My Applications tab and search your grant by the grant name. When you find your grant, you can click on the name and this will bring you back to the application snapshot. Select the application type, Historic Preservation Certified Local Government CLG 2024 FY 2023. Then enter the previously initiated application name. Choose your application. There should be only one based on your direct name search. Within the application snapshot page is the Forms menu tab. Each section of the traditional CLG application is broken out into its own form in the Forms menu. By completing all of the forms in the Forms menu, you are effectively filling out the application. The Forms menu has a list of all required application forms. Click on a form to begin filling it out. Please note that asterisk fields are required. Some fields will require attachments. They will have a Choose File button, which will prompt you to upload the required file. Throughout the Forms menu, you can find buttons that say, For more information, click here. These buttons will pull up PDFs, which give you more detailed information to help you fill out each form. For example, the More Information button in the Project Information form will provide you with example scopes of work and examples of allowable and unallowable project costs. The icons next to the forms indicate whether a form has been completed, it is incomplete, or it has not been started. Incomplete forms will have the hand icon, complete forms will have the paper and pencil icon, and unstarted forms will have the blank paper icon. As you complete the forms in the Forms menu, you will have the option to click Save or Save Next. Save will save the current form that you have completed, and Save Next will save the current form and move you to the next form in the Forms page. Upon saving your forms, if there are any errors or incomplete fields, the system will list them at the top of the page. I will now briefly review each of the forms in the Application Forms menu. First is the Applicant Information Form. This form provides information on the municipality and organization members who will be involved in the project. The organization member roles are as follows: CLG Chief Administrative Official, Chief Financial Officer, Historic Preservation Commission Chair, and Project Coordinator. The project coordinator is a paid professional or salaried municipal employee identified in the grant application. They will be the single point liaison with the Historic Preservation Office as well as the project professionals. Be sure to include the congressional districts and state legislator, and make sure to click the certification box at the bottom to confirm that the information provided on this form is accurate. Next is the project information form. Include the project name. This should include the type of project as well. For example, commuter area architectural survey, or residential design guidelines, or historic house museum preservation plan. Next, you will select the project impact area. The options are local, county, state, and/or national. Please note that local impact is appropriate for most project types. Next, you select your project type: survey, planning, National Register, public education, and/or other. Make sure to include the project scope of work. This is to be submitted as an attachment. Example scopes of work are available in the More Information link at the top of this page. Next in the Forms menu is the budget form. This is where you enter details about your proposed budget. In the budget form, there are consultant services and administrative cost tables. All grant funds paid to consultants will be listed in the consultant services table, and all grant funds that will be used directly by the municipality will be listed in the administrative costs table. Please note that in most cases, the administrative costs for a project are included in the consultant's scope of work and therefore should be listed as part of the consultant's services. In the consultant services table, you will select your consultant type, then list each task that the consultant will perform, along with the estimated cost associated with each task. If your project will require multiple consultants, you can check the box below the consultant services table to add an additional consultant services table. You can add as many consultants as needed. There is also an optional upload box for you to submit your consultant's proposals. When uploading consultant proposals, use the text box to briefly describe what was uploaded and for which consultants. Once all consultant services and administrative costs are listed, the system will generate a grand total request. This should match the amount requested for your grant. The last form is the attachments form. First is the DI Form 1350 and the DI Form 1350 Addendum. Next is the list of your municipality's Historic Preservation Commission members. Please be sure to include each member's telephone number, mailing address, and email address. The next attachment is the Municipal Historic Preservation Ordinance. This must be the most current and signed version of the ordinance. The fourth and fifth attachments are the resume and job description. The resume attachment is for the project coordinator, and the job description text box should briefly explain the project coordinator's job duties as related to this project. Once all application forms have been completed and the application is ready to submit, use the status change tab in the status of the application to submit it. select the Apply Status button under Application Submitted. Do not hit the Apply Status button under Cancel Application. This will delete your entire application. Please note that once the status of the application is changed to submitted, the municipality cannot go back and change any information on the application forms. You will have to contact HPO to change information in the application at this point. Upon the application deadline, all successfully completed and submitted grants will be reviewed by HPO staff and grant evaluators. I will now give a live demonstration to complete a few of the activities in the SAGE system. So here we have the test version of NJDEP SAGE, and I will be, I'm putting it over here, right? Okay. Okay, so here's a test version of NJDEP SAGE, and I'm going to use a practice account. So first, I just want to test the account. So firstly, as I mentioned earlier, you need to find out from your municipality if you have or have not already created an organization profile in NJDEP SAGE. If you've confirmed with your municipality that they don't already have an organization profile and you need to create a new profile, you would go right here to New User. And this will bring you to the organization registration page where you fill out your organization profile. Again, when you're selecting your program of interest, please choose Historic Preservation Certified Local Government, CLG. And then once you have created your organization profile and received login information, that's where you can log in here. So you'll log in with your organization profile information. And again, as I mentioned, you're going to need to add members and create member usernames for each person that's going to be involved with this project. So to do that, you go to My Organizations. You'll find your organization from the list. And then you will click on Organization Members, Add Members, New Member, and fill out the information as appropriate. As I had mentioned in the presentation, there are two types of user roles to be selected. So there are authorized officials and viewers. Authorized official roles are able to apply for the forms, manage, and change information in the grants. Viewer roles are only able to view the information that's available. So that is up to your municipality how you want to authorize each member's role. So back here, I'll take you back to the home page. As I had mentioned previously, you have training materials here. If you click on the My Training Materials tab, you'll see that there is an IntelliGrants webinar, kind of similar to this one that we're presenting today, but this one was created by the developers of the website. You also have an IntelliGrants manual for grantees to help navigate the SAGE system. So in order to initiate your application, you click here from the home page on My Available Opportunities. And you'd want to use these filters here so you can have the provider as New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. And in this case, we'd filter My Opportunities to the Historic Preservation Certified Local Government CLG 2024 FY 2023. Don't need to fill in the dates here. With these two filters, the correct application should appear. And as you can see at the top, this is the first opportunity that came up. This is the correct one. Please make sure to read through the information listed below. It'll give you further information on the grant that you're applying for. Once you have identified that this is the correct grant and you would like to apply for it, you click on the Apply Now button. I'm not going to click this one here because I already have an application started. But again, if you click Apply Now, this will open up a new application for you and take you to the application snapshot. And if you click not interested, this could hide this grant opportunity from future grant services. So be sure not to click that. So once you've clicked apply now and initiated your grant application, you can look up your application through the application name that was provided. So once you have your application name, click on My Applications. Again, you filter for Historic Preservation Certified Local Government 2024 FY 2023. And here's where you would enter the application name. So if you have your application name and you type this in directly, it should look something like this. This should be my example one. You can search here and it will come up directly. So if you search by the application name, the exact application you initiated will come up. So we'll click on this here. And again, so this is the application snapshot. This is an overview of the application that you've initiated, and that will bring you to the forms menu. So this is effectively how you're going to fill out your application through this tab on the forms menu. And you can see here we have the applicant information form, project information, budget, and attachments that I had previously mentioned. So again, take you through these forms. So here's the applicant information form. I had mentioned the different roles. You have the chief administrative official, CFO, the commission chair for the Historic Preservation Commission, and the project coordinator. Again, the project coordinator is a paid professional who will be the single point of contact with the Historic Preservation Office, as well as the project consultants and professionals. Make sure to put the Senate and Assembly and district number and click the certification box. Next, you have the project information. And again, I'd like to mention, remember that all fields marked by an asterisk are required. And also, there are certain parts of the application that require you to upload files. So again, you'll see these choose file buttons here. So you click on those and pick the correct file to upload. Also, please note that on most of these pages, there are links that say for more information, please click here. So for example, in the project information form, the more information will pull up a PDF of example scopes of work and allowable and unallowable project costs. So that information will help you to fill out this particular project information form. And again, the click here, more information PDFs are available throughout most of the forms to help give you more guidance on how to fill out these forms properly. And next we have the budget form. As I'd mentioned, you have two tables here. You have your consultant services table and your administrative costs table. Any duties performed by the consultant, including administrative costs performed by the consultant, will go under the consultant services table, and anything completed directly by the municipality will go under the administrative cost table. As I mentioned, most of the costs will go through the consultant, so they will be listed on the consultant services table. If you have multiple consultants working on this project, you'll check this box here, and it will add a second consultant services table, and you can add as many tables as you need, depending on how many consultants you plan to have working on this project. Then we have the attachments form. So here's where you would attach the DI form 1350 and the 1350 addendum, list of Historic Preservation Commission members, the most recent and updated municipal historic preservation ordinance, as well as the resume for the project coordinator and the job description for the project coordinator. This job description box should include the duties performed by the project coordinator in relation to this specific project. So as you're filling out the forms menu, I mentioned you could see the icons here. So next to these forms, so this hand means that my applicant information form is incomplete. The pencil and paper icon for project information means that I have completely filled out that form. And the next three forms with the blank paper icon indicate that I have not started those forms yet. So again, you want to get to a point where all of these forms have the paper and pencil icon and they are completed. So as you go through, so I purposefully left some information out of this to show you what it looks like. So if I do not completely fill out a form correctly, and I hit save and save next, as I said. So save will just save the information for that particular form. Save next will save the information and take you to the next form in the forms menu. So since this form is not complete, if I hit save or save next, what will happen is you'll get a list of all the errors on this form. So as you can see at the top here, it says your information has been saved and the following page errors have been found. And then it just lists all the information that was incorrectly entered, or maybe you had some missed fields here. So that's very helpful to help you properly fill out your application. So take note of the list of errors when trying to save each form. And once you are ready and you believe that all forms have been completed properly and you have the paper and pencil icon for all of your forms and you're ready to submit your application, you'll hit the tab next to the forms menu here, status changes. So again, you'll see here possible statuses. You have two. You have application submitted, and you would click apply status under application submitted. This will submit your application, and upon deadline, the HPO and the reviewers will review your application. But you also have cancel application and an apply status button under there. Please do not hit cancel application. This will effectively delete the application and everything that you've been working on. So make sure when you're ready to submit your application, you hit the status changes tab and you click apply status under application submitted. So that should cover most of the basics of how to create your organization profile and add members, as well as identify and initiate an application for your grant. And then we went through the forms menu to get you get you started on filling out the forms and submitting the application. So again, if you have any questions or concerns, I will always be here to help. My information will be provided here. Please do not hesitate to reach out to the HPO if you need assistance at any point throughout this process. So the following slide here has my contact info as well as Lindsay's. And at this point, we will be opening up the floor to any questions that anyone might have. Thank you.